Hi, this is Paris Skiris, and this is Lab 1 Charge Tapes for Physics 2212. Introduction. The purpose of this experiment was to observe how charged objects interact with their surroundings, and to approximate the excess charge on one piece of charged tape. The materials used in this experiment were household items such as clear tape, a ruler, flat surface, 2 books, and a pen. The benefits of this experiment is that this allows students to think about the way that electric charge and electric fields affects our daily lives. And many daily occurrences can be explained by these interactions, such as when you rub a balloon in your hair and you get static electricity. The following questions were to be answered before the experiment was done. If a U-tape is positively charged, it will either be attracted to a negative charge or repelled by a positive charge. If it is negatively charged, it will be repelled by a pen. A neutral U-tape will be attracted to a charged plastic pen. And this last question will be answered later. In part 1 of this experiment, we charged 2 pieces of tape to see how they would interact with their surroundings. In order to charge these pieces of tape, we had to put a base tape on a flat surface, create a U-tape, and swiftly pull the U-tape off of the base tape. This process charges the tape. After making the U-tapes and charging them, each piece of tape was hung on the side of a table. In the following 2 videos, it can be seen that the 2 tapes were both attracted to my hand. In this part of the experiment, we took a neutrally charged object, a book in this case, and saw how it interacted with the 2 charged U-tapes. This shows us that the U-tapes are in fact charged, and it is now up to us to determine whether it is positively or negatively charged. Now we see the reaction between a charged pen and the 2 U-tapes. Because the 2 U-tapes are both attracted to the charged pen, this means that the pen more than likely has a negative charge, and the U-tapes more than likely have a positive charge. In part 2 of the experiment, a charged U-tape was placed on top of 2 books. We'll call this tape B. And the other charged U-tape, we'll call it tape A, was held to the bottom of tape B. When I did this, the tape B was displaced by 0.015 meters in the positive y direction. Now, some assumptions that can be made from this is that the net y component of the force on tape B is acting in the positive y direction, and that tape A and gravity exert mainly vertical forces on tape B, either in the positive y or negative y direction. These are the different calculations that we were able to do after performing the experiment. We were able to find the mass of the tape, we were able to find the gravitational force on tape B, and we were able to find the charge on tape B. We were also able to find the number of excess electrons in the tape. We were able to find the number of atoms on the tape, and also the ratio of atoms to electrons in the tape. After performing the experiment, we wrote a program in GlowScript using the calculated values. This program provided the diagram on the right, which has labeled tape A and B both as point charges, and it also shows the direction of the forces that were calculated. The red arrow is the force that tape A exerts on tape B, the blue arrow is the force of gravity on tape B, and the orange arrow is the force of tape B on tape A. And on the bottom we have a list of all the calculated values. In conclusion to this experiment, there are a couple questions that can be answered. If electrons had positive charge and protons had negative charge, the 2 tapes would still repel each other because Opposite charges will always attract and like charges will always repel. It's important to handle the charged tapes as little as possible because the more they come in contact with other things, the more charge they lose, and then they'll have to be recharged. And one last thing is that my initial expectations were wrong regarding the charge of the tapes. I had first assumed that the two charged U-tapes would be attracted to each other, meaning that they would have opposite charge. Well, I found out that the opposite is true, and that they both had the same charge.